I pulled this dresser out of my son's room last week, and now it's time to give it a simple makeover and get it ready for its next owners. It's got a really slick factory finish on it that has seen some wear and tear over the years, and I'm going back to basics with this flip and keeping things beginner friendly. Hello friends, Katie here from Salvaged by K. Scott with another furniture flip. I am working on this chest of drawers out in the garage, and I want to keep this makeover process really simple but still sophisticated. I'm going to be fixing up a few minor nicks and dings, priming this factory finish with an adhesion primer, and then painting it in this rich green called Bayberry by Fusion Mineral Paint. I'm also planning on swapping out the original wood knobs with something a little more substantial. This is a flat pack style put it together yourself dresser that I bought for our nursery way back when I was pregnant with our first son 12 years ago. It has more than done its duty for our family, and both of my boys are currently getting room makeovers, so this chest just no longer has a home in our space. It's covered in grubby fingerprints and whatever else my kids have had on their hands lately. So the first step in my process is going to be a good clean with a degreasing cleaner. Today I'm using Dawn dish soap, but TSP, Crud Cutter, or Simple Green are all really great options for this as well. Once I had everything cleaned, I took a fresh bucket of water and did one more quick wipe down to pick up any soapy residue. Now I need to fill in some of the superficial marks on this piece. There aren't really any big repairs that I need to make on this one, but for my new finish, I want to make the dresser look as professional as possible, and paint is just not going to hide these dents. I am using this DAP wood filler and a little putty knife to fill in any spots that I find, and these marks from where the old knobs used to sit. I left my filler to dry for about half an hour, and then I sanded it smooth with some 220 grit sandpaper. Because this is a super slick factory finish, it's also really important to scuff up the rest of the dresser so that my next steps have a little bit of texture to hold on to. I'm going to use my Ryobi orbital sander just to dull the shine a little bit, but this is a step that you could totally do by hand in 15 or 20 minutes if you needed to. Once I was finished with all of the sanding, I took my damp cloth and wiped away any of the dust that I had created, and then I was ready to prime. Fusion actually has this great little chart available on their website that walks you through the steps and products that they recommend for each type of furniture surface that you might be working on. The paint itself and most other furniture paints already do a really incredible job at bonding with furniture surfaces, but since Fusion recommends using their Ultra Grip primer on slick stuff like this dresser, I'm just going to take that extra step. I do usually prime most of my projects regardless of what sort of substrate I'm working with, just as an extra layer of insurance. This Ultra Grip primer from Fusion is pretty thick and has sort of a milky color to it. The instructions say to brush or roll a thin layer over your project and then let that cure for at least 12 hours. The next day, my primer was ready to go and I was ready to paint. I chose Fusion's color Bayberry for this dresser, but I am going to be trying out a new to me product from Fusion, which is their extender. This is a paint additive that extends the open time of your paint, or the amount of time you have to brush your paint before it starts to dry. This should help me get the paint where I need it and then let the paint have time to level itself out as it dries to really minimize any brush strokes or roller marks. I don't often paint my furniture with a roller because I don't like the texture that they create, but I'm hopeful that this extender product is going to eliminate all of that worry. The instructions on this say to use a maximum of 15 milliliters or a tablespoon per pint of paint, but I don't want my paint to take too long to dry, so I'm going to start off with just a teaspoon. And because I know I won't use this entire pint on this dresser, but I don't want to portion it out right now, I'm also going to make myself a little note on some painter's tape so that the next time I reach for this jar, I know that it's already been mixed. I lined a small paint tray with some aluminum foil for easy cleanup once I'm done, and I'm going to use a brush and roller combo to get this dresser done. I'll use my brush to get into the corners and smaller areas where the roller doesn't fit, and then I'll roll out all of the larger flat areas. It's important to remember that multiple thin coats is always going to get you a better finish than one or two thick coats. So don't be alarmed if your first coat of paint looks terrible and you can still see a ton of the underlayer through it. Once I was done painting my first coat, I put my brush and roller inside the tray and then wrapped them up in a plastic grocery bag and sealed that up as tight as I could to keep things from drying out. I let my first coat dry for 4 hours, and when I came back to it, it was looking really smooth. I am so happy with the way that this looks, and now it's time for coat number 2. I let the second coat of paint dry for another 4 hours, and it looked pretty good, but I still had a few spots where I could see the original finish peeking through, so a third coat should cover all of that up and finish this job. After 3 coats, my dresser looked perfect. Fusion has a built-in top coat that is super durable all by itself, but I'm going to rub on some of their beeswax and hemp oil finish just on the top of this dresser for an extra layer of protection against any decor or anything that might be put onto the top surface. Now that I have the dresser put back together and inside the house, I'm gonna upgrade the original wood knobs with these antique brass ones that I bought from Amazon. And then I am ready to stage this dresser for all of its glamour shots. I really hope this video helped take some of the intimidation out of painting your own furniture pieces. It doesn't always need to be a huge construction or deconstruction process with lots of fancy tools. You can make a huge impact with a simple change of color. Please make sure to leave me comments here with any questions, and also make sure that you are subscribed before you go. I will catch you all next time.